Good morning, class. In our previous class, we started with towards civil disobedience movement. Okay, as Mahatma Gandhi suspended the earlier movement, that was non-cooperation Khilafat movement, he thought that people were not ready for this movement and they need to learn the lesson or the concept of non-violence. So, in February 1922, Mahatma Gandhi withdrew non-cooperation movement, and thereafter he said that now people are not ready for this movement and Satyagrahi need to be taught the true path of non-violence, and he came up, or the freedom movement or the freedom struggle went ahead towards the civil disobedience movement. We have completed this first paragraph. Now we have to start with the second paragraph. I told you that British government decided to conduct a provincial election, okay, that had been set up by the Government of India Act 1919. I will make a separate video for the freedom struggle towards the Government of India Act 1919. So let's start. In such a situation of internal debate and dissension, dissension means disagreement. Two factors again shaped Indian politics towards the late 1920s. The first was the effect of worldwide economic depression. Depression is downfall. Agricultural prices began to fall from 1926 and collapsed after 1930. As the demand for agricultural goods fell and exports declined, peasants found it difficult to sell their harvest and pay their revenues. By 1930, the countryside was in turmoil. Turmoil means a state of confusion. uh, so as we have learned that some of the Congress leaders at that time thought that it is important to oppose British government or the imperial rule by becoming a part of it, whereas other wanted a more radical or a more different kind of approach, okay, for full independence. They wanted to channelize mass movement for the cause of full independence. So there was a split of opinion. On the one hand, people wanted to join the British Parliament or the British government in India and become part of it and oppose British rule from inside by after becoming a part, whereas other people wanted to hold a mass protest or mobilize or use the support of mass people or all the people for this cause to oppose British rule or to fight from the fight for the freedom outside government in the way it had been going from the beginning. So there was a state of internal debate. Debate means discussions, and disagreement means the Congress committee had two opinions. One wanted to become part of the government and then oppose. Other wanted to simply oppose without becoming a part of the government. So it shaped the Indian politics towards the late 1920s. We know about the First World War. It started from 1914 to 1918. Okay, at that time the war was going on, the Great War, which started in Europe. After the integration of Italy, there was a land known as Balkan land, which was means it was surrounded by Belgium, France, and all the countries, different countries, and everyone, each and every country, due to their technical advancement, development of arms and ammunitions, they wanted to take that particular resourceful land in their possession and the war started. Why the world war started, if you want we can make a separate video for that also. Okay, so when the war started, obviously these countries, they started producing more of arms and ammunitions. The population of these states or these countries were involved in war. So at world level, the demand for food grains increased because they wanted food grains for the country, for the citizens, as well as for the soldiers who are fighting the war. So at that time, the price of the food grains started increasing. There was a higher demand for food grains because worldwide supply of food grains was disrupted due to the Great War, the First World War, and it went on. When the war came to an end, obviously the people went back to their own previous work. Agriculture production again went up, and because of that, the demand for agricultural goods for exports, means India at that time used to export agricultural goods to the Western nations, to the other countries, because the supply was disrupted. Now when the war ended and the normal system or the normal supply of agriculture was restored, the demand for Indian exports of goods or agriculture declined, means reduced. So when the demand of the products reduced, farmers during the war time, they had increased their production, they had increased their farm size, and they were producing food grains on a large scale so that they can fulfill the demand of Indians as well as produce enough to send it to outside India. So when the demand fell, they had more goods or they had more grains left with them, and they found it difficult to pay to supply this. So peasants found it difficult to sell their harvest, means they had more food grains, stock of food grains, but there was no one or very few people to buy these food grains. In such a situation, the price of the food grains, they did not get as much as the price they wanted. By 1930, the country was in turmoil, a state of confusion. Means peasants, they had no idea what to do. They had increased their farm production, they had increased the production of crops, and now they are in a state where they do not find a buyer. They cannot find a buyer who can pay them the price. Means it was so difficult for them even to recover the money they had invested for the production. So this was the situation, and then in the Congress there was a split, there was a state of confusion. Means Congress could not decide which part to take, either to go for the provincial election and become part of the British government, or to oppose the British rule from outside, like they had been doing since the beginning. Against this background, means in this whole scenario, when the economy is suffering due to the great economic depression we know started as after the world war. The Germany was forced to pay for the war compensation. There was worldwide collapse of the economic system because of the war. Effect of the war was that economic progress had been slowed down, and there was recession means downfall. Then America tried to help Germany by granting short-term loans so that Germany could pay to the Paris for the war damages that had been caused. And Wall Street, the stock exchange of America, it collapsed, because of which Germany was not able to pay the loan or could not get the help from America, and Germany started printing currency notes on a large scale, which resulted in fall of currency. So depression from one country went on to the other country, from there to another country. In this way, the whole world was in grip of recession, that is called Great Economic Depression. So there was economic depression worldwide. Then after the war, the demand for the war equipments, it went down, and production of food grain again started, which ultimately caused to be fatal or had a great effect on India, as farmers in India found it difficult to sell their harvest and get the revenue or pay for the revenue. So in this, against this background, the new Tory government in Britain constituted a statutory commission under Sir John Simon. Set up in response to the nationalist movement, the commission was to look into the functioning of the constitutional system in India and suggested change. The problem was that the commission did not have a single Indian member, they were all British. So the government after the First World War, that was Tory government in England, in Britain, constituted or made a commission under Sir John Simon, known as Simon Commission. Now, what was the work of this commission? Simon Commission was to inquire into the Government of India Act 1919. So earlier we had studied or read that British government passed or said for the provincial election which had been set up under the Government of India Act. So it act obviously had some shortcomings, some problems. So a new commission was set up under Sir John Simon. Its main function or the key purpose was to inquire into the functioning of the Government of India Act 1919. Okay, means how to study how the act is functioning, what are the function, how is it going, what are the shortcomings. Okay, it had to see the how the working is going on and it had to suggest further reforms or changes into the system of administration, means how the government can function and what are the shortcomings in the act and how can they rectify or correct the problems, or how can they bring the changes into the act of Government of India Act 1919. But the only problem was that the Simon Commission had all the British, all the Englishmen, and no Indian was taken into the commission, or no Indian was part of that commission. When Simon Commission arrived in India in 1928. So when did Simon Commission come to India? Simon Commission came to India in 1928, and this commission, the chairman of the commission was Sir John Simon. Okay, that is an important question, objective type can be made. Who was the chairman of the committee or the commission? He was Sir John Simon. Again, I told you what was the functioning or what was the need for the commission: to inquire into the working of Government of India Act and suggest some changes, structural changes that can rectify the defects or the shortcomings of Government of India Act 1919. When Simon Commission arrived in India in 1928, it was greeted with the slogan, "Go back, Simon." Okay, now when this commission came to India, Indians already knew about the commission that had been set up, why it was set up, and since it had no Indian in it, so Indians were not happy with the commission. And when the commission reached India, Indians started to protest, or when the commission came, they had slogan shouting, "Simon, go back." Means they did not want to be associate themselves with Simon Commission, and they refused to cooperate with this. All parties, including the Congress and the Muslim League, participated in the demonstration. So there were widespread demonstrations. People did not want to associate with the Simon Commission, and they asked commission to stop working or go back without any discussion. Even Muslim League under Muhammad Ali Jinnah, they also participated in the demonstrations. Pradarshan, demonstration means pradarshan karna. Like we all had, all the rallies are conducted, all the protest is being shown. Okay, demonstrate means to show. In effort to win them over, Viceroy the Lord Irwin announced in October 1919 a vague offer. Vague means of uncertain character. Vague offer means an offer that is made, but that offer did not have any certainty or certain character. Of dominant status. Dominant status, I told you that Indians will make a government of their own, but that government will be directly or under the full control or supervision of British government in unspecified futures, and the round table conferences to discuss a future constitution. So what Lord Irwin did, he asked for a round table conference. Round table conferences were a sort of meeting that were conducted or that were held, and the discussions were being made by British government and the Indian representatives. Indian freedom fighters, Congress and other prominent leaders joined the table conference, and they discussed about the future of India. But unfortunately, round table conference ended up without any result, as all the parties, they were more interested in their own interest rather than a common cause or for the movement or for the freedom of the country. So this did not satisfy the Congress leaders. The radicals within the Congress led by Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose. So round table conference ended up without having any positive or a complete solution, and Congress was not happy with it. Now the Congress was divided into two groups. One were more radical, means they were ready for more extremist type of action with under the supervision of Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose. They were more you can say more motivated, or they were more committed towards a more radical approach for the freedom, became more assertive. Now Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose, they became more assertive, means they were able to dominate. They made it very clear, or they were able to bring to the notice of the other members that you cannot oppose British government from inside. We had participated in round table conference. We saw that British will not listen to us, and they will bring the movement down. The ultimate aim of British government in India is to suppress the movement, and they are using different offers like different tools to ultimately affect the freedom movement in India. The liberals and moderates, who were proposing a constitutional system within the framework of British domain, gradually lost their influence. Now the liberals or the moderates, those who were okay with the system, or those who wanted to participate in the provincial election set up in by the Government of India Act 1919, they were also realized that they cannot defend freedom struggle, or they cannot oppose the British by becoming a part of the government. So gradually, means slowly, they lost their influence, and Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose, their idea of for complete independence by a more radical or more extremist type of movement, it gained momentum. In December 1929, under the presidency of Jawaharlal Nehru at the Lahore session, finalized the demand for Purna Swaraj. Purna Swaraj means complete independence or full independence for India. So in 1929 at Lahore, when the Congress met, there was a meeting of all the prominent leaders of the Congress in Lahore in December 1929, where Jawaharlal Nehru was able to convince the Congress members and for the more radical movement, and there he declared for the first time that the freedom movement will be directed or will be under one motto, that is Purn Swaraj, or that is or complete independence. It was declared that 26 January 1930 would be declared as Independence Day, when people were to take pledge to struggle for complete independence. Now he went further and said that on 26 January 1930, means a month from now, more 1.5 months from now, we will celebrate Independence Day, and people will take an pledge, oath, Kasam Khana, for to struggle for complete independence, to fight for complete independence. But the celebrations attracted very little attention, so Mahatma Gandhi had to find a way to relate this abstract idea of freedom to more concrete issue of everyday life. But at that time, since there were other freedom fighters also, like Bhagat Singh and others, so more people were associated with, means a huge mass was with them also. So when this Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, he made the call for Purn Swaraj, it did not affect or went or means attracted much mass, and Gandhiji had to find, or Gandhiji had to find a way to associate mass with the movement and join this idea of abstract idea of full independence to more and more issues of everyday life, and bring more and more people under the cluster of this movement. That's it for today. We'll continue with the next paragraph in our next class. Thank you.